Hello and welcome back to the Quarantine Cricket Championship. I'm Brian Jackson, and today is day two of the second Ashes Test between England and Australia. Australia is batting and doing quite well for themselves, starting the day at 3 for 261 on what could be considered an absolute road. It's a batsman's paradise. Even Joe Burns made a ton, so they'll be hoping to go on with it today. Decent start from Broad, just the one from it. As Smith getting back into the swing of things. New day. Smith, the centurion in the first test. Best player on the ground, in my opinion. But there's still some work to do for the Australians, and if the series so far has been any indication, it's going to be difficult for their bowlers to take 20 English wickets within a 5-day period. 3 for 263, Broad to Smith. Tries to pull that away, doesn't get very far. That one strays down the leg side, so Broad still finding his rhythm. Now that's 2 full, put away on the pads, and Smith just flicks it to the boundary for 4. Excellent shot. Didn't seem to get all of that, but he'll take the single, leaving Matthew Wade on strike. He was also a star of the first test at Lords, and his second innings runs really gave Australia the best chance of winning, which of course they failed to do. Their bowlers couldn't take the wickets in time. Match was a draw. As Jimmy Anderson, the workhorse, continuing to Smith, who's looking pretty good so far. I'm pretty sure he scored all 8 runs this morning. Matthew Wade getting his eye in. 3 for 269. Stuart Broad. Hasn't bowled his best so far this match, which is really disappointing from an English perspective. You'd need him to carry the attack, particularly on a surface like this, where it's not doing much. And he's being trusted with so many overs. Around the wicket to Wade, who's happy to block them and leave them. Oh, and he plays a shot there. Fielder saves it. Well fielded in the end. Wade gets off the mark there. Of course, Joe Burns was bowled on the last ball of the first day by Sam Curran. Would you believe that? I certainly couldn't. So Matthew Wade having to settle in on a new day. As far as a good first innings total for the Australians, I'd say probably around 450 to 500, particularly given the start that they've had. Good batting conditions, tired English bowling attack, you'd imagine. But this first hour will be crucial for the English, and they can get a couple of breakthroughs. They're back in the game. They're not going to do it with that. Looks like a full toss, and Smith just hammers that through the extra cover region, or I should say just behind point. That one was more of a square drive. Oh, and he beats the bat. Much better from Broad. Probably could have got a single there. Smith maybe just a bit rattled from the previous delivery. Takes the run there. As he moves to 36. So the first half hour, no breakthrough. Australia looking pretty comfortable for the most part. This is better from Anderson this over. It's looked alright this series, not his best. But it's Steve Smith in particular that the English just can't seem to dismiss. I know they dismissed him in the second innings of the first test at Lords, but by then didn't have much effect on the match. As Wade getting off to a slow start, but still managing to find some singles. Sam Curran, probably one of England's more underrated bowlers throughout this series. They haven't used him as much as you would imagine, but he's bowled well. Look at this, Jimmy Anderson into his 31st over and still yet to take a wicket. To his credit, I suppose, he hasn't been that expensive, but you just think maybe it's time to try something new. Oh, and he's gone. Would you believe it? Steve Smith played all around that one and is caught by Ben Stokes close to the bat for 36. That is a huge breakthrough. And Anderson did manufacture something after all this time. And that's pretty easy way to start off there from Travis Head. Terrible full toss and dispatched as it should have been. So England got the wicket they wanted. Probably the wicket they needed. So, important passage of play here. As Curran oversteps. We've seen a bit of that so far. Particularly from Curran. But he's bowling well. Matthew Wade struggling to get anything away. It's 4 for 286. 4 off 30, Matthew Wade. So, I suppose the plan will be to weather this storm of good English bowling now that they've got the breakthrough, and then really look to kick on. These two are both naturally aggressive players. They can play their shots. And they can be trusted, as we saw in the first test, to really help lift Australia towards a big first innings total. But they're just not being given anything by the England bowlers at the moment. Oh, and finally Wade gets something away, straight down the ground, 2 full from Curran, and he hits his first boundary. That's pretty useful from Travie Head. Full toss from Anderson and a misfield. So he's having a lot less difficulty getting away. They haven't been accurate to him so far. Is that out? Surely not. No. Umpire Michael Jenkins says no, nothing doing. Michael Jenkins, of course, the umpire at the popping crease at the moment. Alim Dar is at square leg, and Kumar Dharmasena is the third umpire. In case any of you were wondering, I'll have to check who the match referee is. There's a number of people it could be. Yeah, I'll do that when I'm on my lunch break, actually. I'll let you know when I'm back. So Sam Curran, still bowling well. He's probably been the pick of the bowlers at this stage, although Moeen, of course, always underappreciated, underused by Joe Root. He was bowling brilliantly. And Anderson over the wicket to Wade with a leg gully and a short leg. Interesting to see what exactly they're trying to do with that field. You'd assume that Anderson's going to be bowling straight, but is he going to dig it in short and go for the top edge? Or is he trying to catch Wade flicking it off his pads? Interesting questions. Maiden over. Here is Ben Stokes into the attack to Travis Head. And it's been pretty slow going for the Australians so far. Just the 36 runs from the session to this point. And of course the loss of Steve Smith. Head gets that away. Vacant square leg region. Not even the umpire can stop that. It's 4 runs as the 300 comes up for Australia. Stokes adding to it with a wide. Oh, what a shot. He has pummeled that through the onside for 4. So Travis Head at least starting to get away. They have bowled poorly to him, mind you. As we see the first of Jofra Archer this morning. He's barely been used by the English skipper, but he's looked alright. Interesting shot from Wade. Probably could have tried the hook shot, knowing it fine leg. So I'm unsure what their tactic to Wade is at the moment, but it's keeping him quiet. And Stokes is out of the attack already. So it seems that for England, as soon as Stuart Broad has enough stamina to get to the back of his run-up, he's back in the attack. No patience for the other bowlers, which is interesting when you consider that Broad has been one of their least impressive on the whole. Wade pulls that one for 1 run. And Head leaves safely, 4 for 308. Archer to Wade. And that's good running from the Australians. Matthew Wade probably happy to get down the other end. He hasn't had the best time of it so far. To his credit, he's still there. Good over from Archer, just the one from it. Australia 4 for 309. And with no wickets falling for a little while, I'm actually going to up the ante a bit with these two. I know they can play their shots and the conditions suit batting. And for Australia, it's all about getting that first innings total as high as possible, really in the shortest amount of time. I mean, you don't want to be batting into day 3 in the first innings, that is. But the pitch, it's still not doing anything for the bowlers, according to Cricket Captain. Batsman's paradise, as it has been from the start of the match. Here's Stokes back into the attack, so not much of a spell for Jofra Archer. Just, I think, 2 or 3 overs. Very bizarre. Stokes just throwing down leg there to Wade, it looks like. But Wade, as much of a danger man as he was in the first test, he's batting very slowly. Maiden over from Stokes. Broad to continue to Travis Head. It's a good shot. Good shot for 1. And Broad just maintaining a good line. That 4th stump line outside off. Tempting the batsman into playing at deliveries that he doesn't need to. But so far the Australian batsman not biting. It's 4 for 312 as we see some more of Sam Curran. Oh, and that's flown off the edge of Matthew Wade. No one at sort of gully, I suppose, or maybe even closer to point. And it appears that they've set the field back to Travis Head pretty quickly, so they seem to be looking to prevent the boundaries. And I guess lure the batsman into a false stroke. And we've just got an update on the pitch here. There is something in it for the quicks. The bounce is just slightly less predictable than it has been throughout this match. So that's a good sign for England, but honestly, it's probably a better sign for Australia. They'll be bowling next. That's good running from Wade and Head. But it has looked like a good batting wicket, all things considered. Australia should be happy with where they're at. But England is still in this game. As Broad bowls a wide, straightens up there. And again, excellent delivery there and a good lead from Head. So, oh, and what have we got here? It's doing a bit for the spinners now as well. Gee. So early on day 2, we're finally seeing a bit of wear in the pitch. Just a little less of a road, but I mean that's still good batting conditions as far as I'm concerned. So Australia should be happy to be bowling last, I would say, as Head gets that through the gap. Well played, 4 runs, an excellent cover drive. And 5 from that over. So the score moving to 324 for the loss of 4 wickets, as we've probably got 2 more overs until the lunch break. Much better from Broad this over. He's been bowling pretty well this morning, but just hasn't really looked like taking a wicket. As he completes yet another maiden over. So Ben Stokes to bowl the last over of the session. At least it looks that way. Travis Head on strike. He's made a good start. He seems to be in pretty good form, you'd say. Bit of a reckless shot for the last over of the session there, but not really much danger in the end. And we finish with a maiden. So pretty slow session of cricket, all things considered. Just the 63 runs from it and the loss of one wicket, that being Smith. The Australian openers have set them up well, and besides that, yeah, I mean, Curran's bowled well. We haven't seen Moeen today, but Australia in a good position as we head into the second session. And with that, there will be a change in the commentary. Replacing me is Mozo. Hello! Afternoon, gents. Pleasure to be here. Anderson. Bowling well. Who is the batsman's name? It's interesting. I asked to be on commentary with Shrivastava Ramanandan Gamage and maybe a Mark Taylor, Ian Chappell, one of those blokes. Nothing doing. I don't even know who Brian Jackson is. We just put an advertisement out asking for commentators. And obviously I have a lot of experience in my hometown, Arwaville. I commentate regularly on the Big Bash. And I am somewhat of a specialist in these hidden series. I like virtual cricket. More entertaining, you don't really know what's going to happen. I don't really know a lot of these players. I knew Anderson from the Hidden Ashes down in Queenscliff. That was a couple of years ago. But I don't know if he's... Is it the same Anderson? Is he still kicking around, is he? And there's air on this. He's beaten all ends up. The batsman will come back for two. Yeah, so I take it that Wade is good. Stokes is alright. He reminds me of a young Tim Minchin, the way he's going around the wicket to the left-handers and over the wicket to the right-handers. It's alright in this format. The batsman was beaten all ends up. This Anderson, you'd expect him to be bowling left-armers, considering his position in the team. I can't tell what his role is for the English blokes. He's bowling right-armers, but he opens the bowling and bats. It's confusing. What a shot. And Travis Head, I take it he's a bowler by trade, but he's sent up the order when the team is in a crisis. They're doing alright. Is this a 4-day game? Is this club 2-day? 80 overs a side? 2 innings? 5-5? Is this Nittedale Amateur League? I wish I had another commentator here to answer these questions. I don't know why Brian feels the need to take a lunch break. I don't get a break. I just have to sit here and commentate on my own. Where's the rapport? Where's the chemistry? Commentary chemistry with, a Mark Taylor or an Ian Chappell, maybe a Derek Howard, Howie. The batsmen are lucky there. He threw to the wrong end. That's so high, it'll bring rain. Just land safe. That's 350. Hold on, I'm just getting word from Brian over text messenger that I have to change the batting settings. Wade up, Travis Head up. This is, wow, this is a new experience for me. Usually I'm either playing on the field or commentating. It's not this in between where I get to make the decisions like I'm the captain, but I'm actually the commentator. This is very interesting. This is cricket for the future, I tell you. I'm definitely a fan. I'll be back to do a lot more of these episodes, actually. I'm enjoying this. This ground's not big enough for the both of us. Sorry, that was. Oh, I meant to type that to Brian. The captain is going with pace now. Should be close. Chance if he hits. He's played an interesting innings, Travis Head. I think that's his 50. I'm just interested what his ambitions are. Does he fancy himself maybe an our league player, maybe enter into the Baker's CC fad fold, that setup, whatever the nondescripts are up to these days. I want to know I want to know how he thinks, because you don't often see a bloke who left-hander batting at 5 bowling the off spinners. What's that? He's batting at 6. Yeah, alright. That's even more uncommon. Should be close. The batsmen get home. None of them are wearing caps. Not even the batsman, or the umpire's not wearing a hat. Gee, is that really Michael Jenkins? I've never seen him without a hat. And who's at square leg? This is a game like no other, I tell you what. The captain is going with pace now. Shot.
Nothing better than when a bloke looks like he's playing a pool shot, but it goes in the point region. It's thinking at a level that most cricketers just don't think of. It looks to the fielding side like you're hitting it one place and it goes another. I like this Matthew Wade. I think he's a batting genius. Has anyone seen Fenn? Sorry, just got distracted there. The left armour is coming into the attack from the north end. Super shot. They get through for a shingle. Oh, the batsman was beaten, all ends up. What's that? My time is done. Yeah, alright. I'll see you guys again. Whoever's is this live on? Yeah, sorry. Hi guys, Brian here, back again. I hope you guys are enjoying, having a bit of a break from me in these episodes, getting a few different voices into the mix. I don't think Bumble will be back, to be honest. I know his performance wasn't really up to the standard that you'd expect from this channel, but let me know in the comments if you thought Mozo did a good job. Personally, I didn't hear too much of him. I was mainly in the other room making lunch. And it looks like Australia is in a very good position here. At the halfway mark of the second session, Wade can up the ante a bit. Travis Head's run rate is pretty good as it is. No use fixing what's not broken. And it looks like in this session, Australia has been taking the game further away from England. That's what I like to see. Oh, how kind. Mozo's left me a drink. Let me know also in the comments what you guys are eating and drinking during these long episodes. I struggle to believe anyone who says that they aren't coming with snacks of some sort. I've encouraged you to do that from the start, as Wade finds the gap, picks up 4. So Australia with a commanding lead now, as Head moves to 70. Oh, and he's clean bowled. Wow, so after raising the aggression to unnaturally high levels, it's a miscued defensive shot that does Ian Matthew Wade for 40. Decent innings, very slow, only the 3 boundaries, but I mean, if I'm Australia, which I am, I'll take it. He stuck around, contributed runs, built a partnership with Travis Head. So Stuart Broad with the breakthrough. It's 5 for 390 as we see some more of Jofra Archer. No Moeen today by the looks of it, unless it happened while I was gone, but I don't think so because no wickets fell. Australian captain Tim Paine at the crease. And if there's one slight flaw in this Australian lower order, I guess, number 7 onwards, it would just be that Paine and Cummins at 7 and 8 don't contribute much firepower. They like to ease into it as Archer beats the bat. And of course, in cricket captain, they're often at the crease in situations where quick runs are what's desired. So again, I don't think it's cost Australia matches, or I don't think it will throughout this quarantine Test Championship. But gee, I miss the days of Adam Gilchrist in at 7, scoring runs for fun. But Payne, he's off to a pretty good start. And Travis Head will get through for a single, keeping him on strike. That's what I like to see. 5 for 396 as Jofra Archer continues with what looks like quite a defensive field, just the one slip. One man in close on the onside and sort of a catching cover, I guess. With no one straight down the ground, Travis Head exploits that gap. Picks up 2 runs for his troubles. So pretty decent over there from Archer. But Australia still drawing closer to 400, and there it is. What a shot. Tim Payne loves that pull shot. Not the first Australian captain from Tasmania to have that shot as one of his specialties. And Australia bring up the 400 in style for just the loss of 5 wickets. So pretty impressive performance from the Australian batsman. Broad tightens up for the rest of the over, so just the boundary from it. And Archer's looking pretty good, going around the wicket to Travis Head. Bowling good line. And just in general, that seems to be how England have gotten most of their wickets to Australia's left-handers, of which there are several, going around the wicket with their pace bowlers. And that's a maiden over. So here we go, Moeen into the attack. I was correct, it's the first time today. These figures haven't changed overnight. And good aggressive field to Tim Payne. So I do suspect there will be trouble as we approach tea, half an hour away or thereabouts. Payne unable to get that away. Probably should have played it through the offside. So just looking a little insecure against the spin here. And he retains the strike. So just the single from the over. 5 for 403. Look, Payne's faced 25 rocks. He's got to kick on a bit here. Travis Head, same goes for him. And straight away, Payne gets the message. He is the captain, so you would expect that. And again, he's just loving that square leg region. Even though there's 2 men deep near the boundary there. Oh, and Travis Head plays that nicely. It'll just be the one. But Australia putting the foot down here. And they can afford to. They've lost 5 wickets in 5 sessions. 7 from that over. As Sam Curran returns to the attack. So Moeen gets 1 over. Alright. I guess Joe Root I guess we'll see if he's vindicated. I suspect otherwise at this stage, considering the position England are in. You'd just think that Moeen, 10 wicket, 10 overs, just the 1 wicket, he could be the danger man. Tired quicks, you'd imagine. But Curran, he's bowling well. Pick at the bowlers. Oh, okay, so Moeen changing ends, that's alright. Forgive me, Joe Root. You haven't given me many reasons to trust your judgment so far this series, but maybe I was too harsh. They scurry through for a single. 2 mid on. Moeen getting into his work, but that is driven down the ground for 4 by Travis Head. Just an excellent shot. He deserves 100, although I know I'm asking a lot of him to play this aggressively in a test match. Does increase the risk of dismissal, but cricket is a team sport. He's got to do a job for his country. Oh, and that's probably out, unless it's pitching outside the line. No. That is out. So Tim Paine goes for 17. Looked alright. And that brings Pat Cummins to the crease. What's he got up his sleeve? Cummins disappointing with the ball in the first test, it must be said. Unfortunate, given his talents. But, okay, well, not a good shot. Needed to play straight there. Ollie Pope takes the catch and Cummins is on his way for a duck. That does bring the dangerous Mitchell Starc to the crease. He can hit them big. Oh, and he's nearly out first ball. Alright, well, 2 wickets from that over. 7 for 416. 7 minutes until tea. Travis Head on strike. And England getting into a better position now, it must be said. If they can keep Australia under 450, I think they'll be very happy, given the way things were looking even just 2 overs ago. And a maiden over from Anderson, so pressure is on here as we head into what's probably going to be the last over of the session. Curran to Starc. It may have been a mistake to raise the aggression so much, but I do back Head and even Starc to contribute some quick runs, get the total up above 450, hopefully towards that 475, 500 region by the end of the innings. So good finish from Curran, who's got 4 wickets now. So we head into tea on day 2 of the second Ashes test. Travis Head 79 not out. He's been the star of today with the bat, Sam Curran with the ball. And yeah, so an interesting situation. I don't want to be batting for much longer, to be honest, even on this wicket. I figure probably bat for another hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, and then get into some work with the ball. As Starc drives that to third man, we'll pick up 2. Good start to the session for the Australians. So all going well, I'll declare for about 500, but only 3 wickets left. I could very well be all out. But hopefully we'll see Travis Head reach 3 figures. Oh, and does it get to the ropes? No. Must be a pretty slow outfield. But I'll get back for two. Into the 80s, Travis Head. Oh, he plays that nicely. So 6 from the over. Good one for the Australians after tea. Curran fairly wide there. And Head content to let Stark face the music. Oh, and well played. A lot of men behind the bat there, but Stark has managed to pick the one gap, really, and come back for 2 runs. So he's been handy so far, contributing a few singles, a few twos, and just generally staying put. The score moving to 426. Jimmy Anderson continuing. Travis Head unable to get him away so far. Oh, and that could be out, is it? Yes, it is. So Travis Head, risky business, playing that aggressively. He's out for 83. That means Nathan Lyon and Mitchell Stark can have a crack. So, good reward for Anderson, I suppose. He's put in a lot of work. And Stark, probably good that he's the one on strike. 8 for 428. England just getting in with a sniff here, you could say, as that's probably going down a leg. Curran deserves 5 wickets, you'd say. Oh, and he's clean bowled, so poor shot choice. Curran gets his 5 wicket haul, and that brings Josh Hazlewood to the crease. So I'm not expecting much of these two, must be said. But any runs I will take. And this is probably a good time to reflect upon the way that I've batted here. I've been more aggressive than I thought I should be at test level. But of course the issue is that the run rate still isn't really high enough to get to where I wanted to be at the time of the match that we are at. It's probably impact outside off. Yep. And missing the stumps too. So, I mean, I'm not unhappy with the way this innings has panned out, but I can't help but wonder if I just stayed a bit more careful whether 500 could have been on the cards. Oh, what a shot. He's played that like a top order batsman, has he? Josh Hazlewood. So, pretty risky over there, 2 LBW shouts, but still going. As Sam Curran, probably the best bowler of the series so far. It's early days. He'll be looking for a 6. Nathan Lyon, well played. He'll pick up 2 for that as well. As the field... Oh, is that out? Surely not. No, pretty close. Good fielding from Moeen there, it looked like, in the deep. And maybe a bit of complacency between the wickets from the Australian tail enders. And that beats the bat down leg. So, pretty frustrating for the English, but these two haven't changed things in terms of the way the match is going. Lyon and Hazlewood. Oh, but they just might yet. What a shot. Wasn't even that straight. He just guided it down the ground for 4. Nathan Lyon. Oh, and it didn't last long. As you'd expect, the breakthrough comes. Stuart Broad, who takes the final scalp. And with an hour and a half left on day 2, Australia is bowled out for 438. So if I reflect now on what was happening, they didn't even score that quickly, the tailenders, so maybe it would have been better to just let things take their course. With that said, some good batting. 438 is nothing to scoff at. Pitch is slightly better now for the bowlers than it was on day 1, so I reckon Australia's on for a couple early breakthroughs tonight on day 2. It's Mitchell Starc begins to Rory Burns, the centurion of the first test. Really didn't deserve it. He was dropped, played a lot of loose shots. Just didn't look like a quality batsman, as you'd expect. He's not one. Yeah, that's just not convincing. You can't look at that and tell me that he's a good player. And Roy does the same thing. He's also not a good player at test level. But I'll be the one looking foolish if they put on a big partnership here. The England openers, 3 from the first over, as it'll be Josh Hazlewood to Rory Burns. Oh, and a no ball straight away. Come on. Come on, Hoff. What are you doing? Hazlewood pretty good in the second innings at Lords. So I'm expecting big things. And that's nearly caught. We've seen a few dismissals like that in the Australian innings. Fall short this time. No wicket for 5. Mitchell Starc to Rory Burns. Oh, and a no ball from Starc as well. What is going on out there? Have England been messing up the crease? It might just be a problem with the Australian bowlers who haven't started too well, it must be said. Starc dropping way too short and straight there. Was just asking for it to be dispatched. That's a better length. And they get through for a quick single. So, pretty quick start from the England batsman. Already 13 runs on the board. It's only been 3 overs. Hazlewood continuing to Burns. Probably a bit too straight. Oh, is that out? No, it looked like he got home. Yes, just in. Didn't see any run-outs in the first test. But there's been a couple close calls so far in recent overs. So good signs that Australia's being sharp in the field at least. None for 15. Starc to Roy, and he gets that away to fine leg for 1. So some aggressive intent from the England openers. They're clearly aware of the conditions that suit them as Burns just hammers that one down the ground. Not really that full, just a good shot, as much as I hate to say it. So it doesn't look like Starc's really got his rhythm going whatsoever as Roy finds the fence yet again. England racing to 25 for no loss. Mitchell Starc not having a good showing with the ball so far. Hazlewood's looked alright. But credit to the England batsmen, they've come out aggressively and really taken the game to the Australians, who are yet to mount any sort of fight back against this early onslaught. Hazlewood's just bowling well, none for 26, and Stark clearly needs some time in the outfield to get his mind right, really. So it'll be Pat Cummins coming on a little earlier than I would have liked, but to be honest, I mean, he's good enough to take the new ball, obviously, so not too concerning. That's just misdirected bouncer put away by Roy. 4 more to the England total. Plays that one to the man at deep point for 1. So England very much on top so far with this new ball, as that beats the field. Rank full toss, put away as it deserved. So some real trouble. Oh, but this has to be out. Yes, he's taken the catch. Just as I said, England were getting on top. Roy, he just chips that straight to Warner. Pathetic shot, really. And Hazlewood gets the breakthrough, bringing Johnny Bairstow to the crease. And he gets a full toss straight away. Not the best start from Hazlewood, but just a single. Oh, and is that out too? Yes, he is. Hazlewood's dismissed both openers in the same over. Would you believe it? So Burns and Roy both making really flashy starts. Looked like they were on top, but dismissed 2 wickets in 3 balls, and all of a sudden England are in some real trouble. Joshy Hazlewood, safe hands there. And even safer line and length. Ultimately, it was the aggression of both Burns and Roy that cost them their wickets, playing shots they really didn't need to. And just like that, in an instant, the momentum shifts, and England are now 2 for 38. Joe Root, a real danger man, of course. The star of the first test for England. I'm pretty sure he made a ton. Oh, and Bairstow gets that through the gap. So it's really only Hazlewood that's looked troubling so far, it must be said. But the fact is that he's done the damage. Turned this game on its head. Johnny Bairstow. Oh, well stopped there. Johnny Bairstow will be looking for some runs. I don't recall him doing too well for himself in the first test. He's a talented player though, that's undeniable. As England moved to 2 for 48 in quick time. As Cummins continues, he's been expensive so far, as was Mitchell Stark. But 2 new batsmen at the crease. They haven't been looking to attack as much, although just as I say that, Root puts that one away as it deserved to be put away. And England have brought up the 50 really quickly, it must be said. So another expensive over from Pat Cummins, who is not looking his sharpest, it must be said. 2 for 55. And Hazlewood, I'm content to keep using him into a 6th over. He's got the wickets, but that's not his best delivery. Too short, put away. Root able to get on the back foot, steer that through the covers. And Joe Root, in cricket captain, he looks like the world's best batsman. Obviously, that's quite unrealistic. Bairstow gets 4. And just this sort of aggressive approach from the English, it does put the pressure on the Australian bowlers. And with 30 minutes left in the day, I'm going to try Mitchell Starc and I'm going to try going around. Let's see if this produces more positive outcomes than we saw during his first spell, which was wayward to say the least. That's not much better. Bairstow down the ground, 4 runs, easy as you like. But again, the more aggressively you play, the higher the risk of losing your wicket is. We saw that with Burns and Roy, also the Australian tail. So you just feel the Australians are very much in with a chance if England continue playing this way. And 26 minutes left in the day, we're going to see the first of Nathan Lyon so far. England 2 for 69. Oh, and how does a spinner bowl a no ball? They're just gifting England runs when they do that. But Nathan Lyon, quality bowler, you'd back him to take wickets throughout this series, the Ashes series and the Quarantine Cricket Championship. Bairstow finds the gap with ease, really. 2 runs. He's a difficult batsman to set fields for, Jonny Bairstow. Do you pack the man in close to the bat like this, or do you put them in the deep and hope that he makes an error of judgment? I'm sure we will be trying a lot of things in this series. 5 tests, a lot of time to work with. As England move to 73 for the loss of their openers, Root gets that through for a single. It's well played by Bairstow. Steps across, flicks it through for a single. So even though we're dealing with a better batting wicket and higher scores than the first test, I actually reckon we might be a better chance of getting a result in this match just because of how quickly things are progressing of late. Really, the last 2 sessions have been explosive cricket from both sides. Wickets are falling for England. Runs are being made with ease, it looks like. So I think we're on for one exciting test match. And I'm glad that you are joining me for this incredible journey. With that said, as the Australian skipper, I wouldn't mind seeing the runs dry up for a while. Root just pounds that for 4. Beats the fielder in the deep. And sails over the ropes, which is not what you want to see as Nathan Lyon. What has he got up his sleeve? Nothing too destructive so far. It's 2 for 83. Starc will get 1 more over at these 2. Bowling to Root, who plays that nicely through the onside for 1. Wasn't even that straight, just steps across. Seen that a couple times today. It complicates things in terms of the line these bowlers will be wanting to attack. As Root, he doesn't care where it's pitched. he'll find the gaps no matter what. As he's racing towards yet another 50. And Bairstow, no slouch either. He's looking dangerous. And these two are steering the game back towards England's favour, you'd say, with 6 overs left in the day. Might actually move the field back for Nathan Lyon's bowling, just given the run rate. Let's see if Bairstow in particular tries something foolish. Not yet, at least. Bairstow content to block that one. And again, so at the very least, things look to be tightening up with a more defensive field. And with 5 overs left, I'm returning to the wicket taker, Josh Hazlewood. He's looked the most threatening, obviously, so it'll be him who takes Australia through to the end of the day from this end with the ball. As Root scurries through for 1. Hazlewood just a good line and length bowler when it comes down to it. Doesn't do anything too flashy, not a lot of variation. But gets the ball in the right spots. Like there. That's a good line and length. 2 for 96. 4 overs left in the day. Can Nathan Lyon conjure up something? Dot ball. And they get through for 1. Tim Paine fetching that himself. Leading by example in the field, as always. So it looks like the England batsmen are happy to just see off the day from here, not do anything too rash. One from the over. It's 2 for 97. 3 overs left in the day. Here is Josh Hazlewood to Joe Root. Down the ground, but won't be any runs. Flicked nicely down to fine leg for 1. These two looking very comfortable. Pretty much a chanceless partnership so far. And you'd back them to be there at the end of the day, based on how things are going, as Bairstow finds the gap nicely, bringing up the 100 for England. And, you know, with 2 overs left in the day, I don't see any reason not to attack. Just try something from this end, rather than restrict the flow of runs. Yeah, fair enough. It increases the risk that happens going for boundaries, but I just think with England looking to survive the day, it's as good a time as any to try and strike. Joe Root having none of it though. 6 runs from the over already. They've clearly set out to attack the Australian quicks, and to their credit, it's worked so far. Stark and Cummins have been really bad. The figures do not flatter them. So maybe a bad move on my part there. But you got to take risks sometimes. It's 2 for 112, last over of the day, and Bairstow gets a half volley if ever there was one. Wide as well. Just batsman's delight. That one's not much better. Hazlewood may be feeling the fatigue a bit. That's better. So 3 deliveries. Can Australia get one more breakthrough? Imagine if Joe Root was dislodged before tomorrow. 1 ball left. What can Hazlewood conjure up? A single from Root. It's 2 for 118 at the end of day 2. So honestly, Australia got on top for a while when Hazlewood took the early wickets, but just Cummins and Stark being battered all over the ground has led to England being in a fairly good position. They still trail by 320 runs, but they've got 8 wickets in hand and 2 set batsmen in Root and Bairstow. So that is it for now. I'll be back again soon with more of this Quarantine Cricket Championship. And until then, take it easy.